Hey guys, my name is Moran. Welcome to my channel where we discuss Reddit stories. Today I've got just one story for you, but it is so long and so funny that I thought it deserves its own little episode. Am I the asshole for not covering my boobs when I saw my friend, her husband, and kids on holiday? Last week, I, 40 female UK, went on holiday to Lanzarote with husband Dan and two kids, 14 girl, 10 boy. Independently, our friends Helen and Graham were going to the same resort with their two girls, 9 and 7. We didn't make any formal plans to meet, but said we might arrange dinner while we were there. One day we were on the beach by the edge of the sea, paddling and playing bat and ball. I was topless. I always go topless on holiday if local laws allow. I've done it since around the age of 14. My mom and sisters did too. I know it's a contentious issue, especially in the US, where people can be very prudish, but it's just a totally normal, non-sexual thing for me. In Europe, it's very common, and there were lots of topless women on the beach that day. I'm anticipating certain questions here. No, I'm not a nudist. No, I don't parade around naked at home in front of my kids or their friends. I just sunbathe topless on holidays and in my garden. The kids don't bat an eyelid, but if I got any inclination it was a problem for them, I likely wouldn't do it. Helen and Graham's kids appeared unexpectedly and ran up to us. I looked round and Helen and Graham were there too. We greeted them. I gave each of them a kiss on the cheek, as I always do when I greet my friends. We stood and chatted while the kids played, but Helen seemed quiet. Her girls asked me to play bat and ball with them. I said yes, but Helen abruptly said they had to go. Kids were disappointed, but then suggested meeting later for dinner. Graham accepted. Later, I got a text from Helen to cancel dinner. She was upset with me for not putting a top on when we saw them. Quote, "Would it have killed you to put your tits away when we arrived?" She was angry that I kissed Graham while topless and that I was going to play bat and ball with her kids with my, quote, bare boobs swinging around. And later her two girls were giggling about, quote, Sarah's massive wobbly boobs. She said she didn't want to see me that night. I was upset. I didn't think I'd done anything wrong, given that we were on the beach where loads of women had their boobs out. I didn't have a chance to cover up. The first I knew of their presence was when they were up close and had already seen I was topless. I'd have to walk past them 50 foot up the beach to our towels, etc., to put on a top. It would have been like shutting the stable door after the horse had bolted. I replied that I was sorry she was upset and that I'd made her angry. Since getting home, I've texted her again but have had no response. Dan has seen Graham, who said he wasn't upset about it, but he and Helen had argued afterwards when she accused him of enjoying the view too much. Of course. Dan thinks I didn't do anything wrong. We weren't expecting to see them. There were other topless women their kids could giggle at, and for Graham to feast his eyes on, if that's what he really was doing. And by the way, neither of us think he was. But I'm sorry I've upset my friend and wonder if I'm an asshole. Am I the asshole? And also there are a couple of edits. She explains what bat and ball is. She explains about the kids, that they were much more excited to see her kids than her, and also that she just kissed him at an angle and air kissed his cheek, didn't touch him with her boobs or anything, and didn't hug him. Then also, I think what's important is that some have said Helen is jealous or insecure. I really don't know if that's the case. I think she's gorgeous and doesn't need to be. I'm certainly no supermodel, I just don't have any hang-ups about my body. She's smaller than me in that department, but I have no idea if that's an issue for her or not. It really shouldn't be. Thanks again. I also think Helen is jealous or insecure, not necessarily jealous of you or your boobs per se, probably just in a way that she's not very secure in herself, so she got upset because, her husband was checking out your boobs and enjoying the view too much, as if it's the first set of boobs he's ever seen after they got married, which, I highly doubt. If the problem is not insecurity or jealousy, it might just be the fact that she could be more prudish than you are, because, depending on the upbringing, some people might feel terribly uncomfortable with things like that. And even though there's absolutely nothing wrong with what happened, in my opinion, she might have seen it as something overly explicit and unacceptable, which is completely her problem. And I don't think that you have to apologize to her for that. And you are definitely not the asshole. It's hard for me to understand how you can come to the opposite conclusion when all of the situation is just very clear cut. Indeed, they were on the beach where this is normal. They came up already when she didn't expect them, and it would be very strange for her to just like cover up herself and be like, oh wait like 5 minutes until I go and get dressed just to say hi to you. No, Helen is definitely in the wrong here. It sounds like she's a bit uptight, and that's why I think that she just needs to relax a little bit and stop putting all this responsibility on her friend, and maybe stop being judgmental like that, because that is so true what the author said. The children could have laughed about any other woman on that beach, which I also don't think is a good thing. Maybe the parents should pay more attention to that, because why are your children laughing at someone's body? That is not a good little sign there, and I think it should be fixed. And it's not like your children will never see other boobs. Well, and your husband will probably see other boobs. So I just think this whole thing is hilarious. And I also want to bring up, in connection with this story, that I really feel sorry for people like Helen, because they misplace their frustration, and they could do so much better if they just were more self-aware and had the ability to let some things go. Because I think that this situation was completely blown out of proportion. It is such a petty, minuscule detail to be upset over. Not only are you upset over it, you're also upsetting other people. It reminds me of the scene from one show, Cougar Town. There was exactly this situation, only the main character, who would be the author in this context, was not topless. She was wearing a white bikini, and her nipples could be seen through that. And like, also this couple of friends came up to her. The wife was so pissed about that. She was like, she started playing these little games and also argued with her husband. It was a hilarious episode. I think it reflects just this situation. But there, the main character was not doubting herself. She was like, this is ridiculous. This is a classic case where people go about and make up problems on the spot. Stop making yourself miserable. Just stop. Gods know we have enough real problems as it is. So you don't really need to pile on other issues that you think are so important, and that in fact are just little things that no one will remember in a year or 2 years, unless you're petty as shit. Then yeah, you will probably sit there at 80 years old and be like, remember when my friend tried to take my husband from me with her gigantic boobs? Well, then yeah, then you have a problem, but that's also a you problem. Even if things like these bother you, I will not get tired of saying this, maybe you should look at yourself first. Look at why that bothered you. Look at why you think your husband enjoyed the view too much, because it seems also like an insecurity and lack of sufficient trust in the relationship. Yeah, generally maybe think if you want to heat up the relationship with your friend over something like that. The more I talk about it, the more I think about it, it just sounds stupid to me, because why even? Anyway, go topless when it is appropriate, enjoy your life, try new things, try not to fight with your friends over the dumbest little things, and have a nice week, I guess. I will see you with another video soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.